and most of the contestants picked it up, was that you can't give the two together because they are both dihydropyridines. You cannot give them together. So you either take one out, right? You withdraw. Since the patient said she cannot go back, the best thing to do is just withdraw one. But one thing they failed to see was that amlodipine was being overdosed. Amlodipine is given once daily. It is not a BD dosing. Even if it's 5 milligram, it can never be dosed as BD. But that was another thing they failed to do. But one person did the smart thing and then dodged it. So one person dropped it rather. So, I mean, you don't necessarily have to go, how do I even put it? It doesn't have to be that rigid. If a doctor prescribes something, it doesn't have to be that rigid. That's number one. And before I forget, please, let's give a handsome round of applause to the patients. Because, believe you me, the patient has a prize from us. Okay, the patient has a prize from us. So, kudos. And one other thing was that, yes, flucloxacillin, most of you did not even talk about the side effects. The most common thing, the pee and feces and, that distinctive smell about the drug will be in almost every secretion. Nobody mentioned that because that was also another side effect. That is one thing that can bring your patient back or cause your patient to be non-compliant because already your patient was non-adherent. So not making your patient aware is also another problem. The other thing, yes, the hematinic, they made mention of dark stools. We take that. Constipation and all that is there also. Bendro, they failed to. Nobody actually picked it up. Nobody picked it up. Ben, you did? What did you say about it? Let's hear you out. What was wrong with the Bendro? Yeah, what was wrong? You see? You are now asking whether something was wrong with it. Yes, there was something definitely wrong with the Bendro. Because number one, Bendro 5 milligram daily for 30 days. For hypertension, it's wrong. It's an overdose. Okay? Beyond a dose of 2.5, Bendro does not give you any added effect for hypertension, but rather gives you side effects. So 5 milligrams once a day, you are just giving your patient what? Side effects and no benefit at all. So you should have picked that up. Okay, that was one thing that almost every contestant failed to notice. And I was really hoping that one or two people could have picked it up because I was rooting at the end. I was rooting for someone. The person did so well. One other thing is that one person was always so calm to the extent that could get the patient to, go along in terms of formulating the plan. He did so well. Maybe probably after this, I'll make mention of the person. That was also another thing that we picked up. Another issue is still rushing through the counseling. If you become anxious, you start making mistakes. I tried to signal you, but you never pick it up. When you become anxious, you start messing everything up. Counseling, you should never be anxious. If you do that, you forget a lot of things to say, and you might just give your patient bad info. Very, very bad info. I've had an experience with such a patient before when I worked at a company at Palace Mall. He walked in, he demanded for a drug. I told him that he had no prescription and I couldn't give it to him because it was a controlled medicine. He was a well-respected person, well-dressed and everything. He started insulting me. He spoke everything. At the end, I told him, is there any other thing else, any other service I could offer to him? He continued to, rain the insults. At the end, I said, thank you very much and have a nice day. We hope to see you the next time. In fact, when I went home, I went to put the frustration on Call of Duty, online. You can never voice out your anger and all that on the patient. That was very clear with Helen. You can never do that thing. It is customer service because, mind you, the situation that the patient finds herself in is precarious. So they are bound to throw tantrums. So you should just be, you should just have that kind of room to accommodate that.
And sometimes it goes beyond tantrums. I was getting point in my pharmacy.
Yes.
Somebody walked in for morphine for his wife. His wife was in pain. We don't know his wife. But then he wanted 3 bottles of morphine. I decided not to give it. I never received it.
Yes.
So sometimes you can even go beyond the
Yes.
but you still have to manage it.
Yes.
So then when I see him coming, I have to run. Because he knows that if he meets the other people, we'll see that the pharmacist is not there, so he cannot meet the run. But then so far as I'm there and he knows that I'm the pharmacist, he always attacks me. So those things they happen. It's not an exaggeration. It's not at all.
And my other experience was with a celebrity when I was at the airport. That I can't. In fact, it was very horrible that unfortunately the MCA reacted, but I never reacted. I love Please, it is not who you think it is. It was that bad. The punchlines that our patient was giving to the pharmacist, it was, I was just reliving that experience when I was sitting down. It is just as it is. They give you cheeky answers. In fact, they try to infuriate you. That is one thing you should know. But you always have to maintain that integrity. If you want to be a 5-star, 7-star, a billion-star pharmacist, you always have to have a good grip on your temper. Most people have short fuses. It is not in this job that you have a short fuse. As the first pharmacy I worked in, she said that if you are coming to my pharmacy, when you get to the doorstep, can you leave every problem that you came with at that door? Leave every baggage and walk in with a smile. Smile. I want you to smile to every person who walks in here. To the extent that if we don't give any intervention in terms of drugs, at least the person will walk away with some sort of relief. At times, what the patient needs, it's someone to show empathy. Okay? Empathy. And understand the patient. When you do that, in fact, it will make your counseling so easy if you get to that extent. And you get to foster a bond with your patient. What you need to understand when you go out there is that having a bond with your patient is superior to selling drugs to your patient over and over again. Because they recommend people to you not only for money, so that other people could benefit. That is what we are there not for the money, please. And we are not here to come and register pharmacies for the money. But then we are there to make sure that the patient in the community, we are the first port of contact, right? So we have to make sure that we live up to that name. Okay, so we have to be on top of our game, know our drugs. And one other thing I have to put out there, before you counsel, have a plan. Nothing stopped any of you from having a sheet of paper and putting down your plan. Taking time, a minute, you can ask your patient to, kindly have a seat, relax, I'll be with you, just give me a minute. Then